And now it's Deborah Kobylt Live and the Little Italy Podcast.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on Deborah Kobylt Live and our Little Italy podcast. And I have such a treat on my shows today. I've got Pasquale Esposito, Italian-born tenor from Naples. He's released 14 albums. In fact, one of them is just recently released. And he has toured internationally, currently lives in the United States with his wife, and is a proud American. Been here for quite some time now. He will be performing alongside world-renowned Maestro Carlo Ponti, critically acclaimed for his absolutely innovative and creative style. I'm so honored to have you both here. And I also want to mention that you're both, gentlemen, you're passionate about your nonprofits, LA Virtuosi Orchestra, and the notable music and arts. We're going to talk about that as well during our interview. But this month, on December 10th, you're going to be performing at the Broad Stage. And I'd like to pick it up there and talk about the performance and what we're going to be seeing there.
Shall I start?
You can.
I can start. Because I'm the maestro, I can start.
Of course. And I have to say, I love the Christmas decorations behind you. Absolutely stunning. Thank you.
Intentional. It was all done especially for you.
I know. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. And I'm really honored to have you both here. You know, I'm a big fan of both of your work, and very much looking forward to the 10th. But please, Maestro, let's talk about December 10th.
So as you said, I've collaborated with Pasquale on several occasions now, and it's a pleasure to share the stage with him. Such a wonderful artist that really transports his audiences. And we gave a performance at the Broad Stage last year. It's been a year already, honoring my mother, Sophia Loren's legacy and life. We featured works about pertaining to her career, to her life as well. Beautiful orchestral renditions of Neapolitan classics and some other repertoire pieces. And this year we're returning to the Broad Stage with a great holiday-themed concert featuring beautiful American and Italian masterworks, orchestral masterworks that have to do with the holidays, which celebrate Italian and American holiday traditions. So it's going to be an amazing family concert, and we're really looking forward to sharing it with the LA audiences.
Let me just say before you go, Pasquale, I was at that concert. In fact, I sat right below where your mom was. She was up in, a little balcony, and I'm like, I'm doing this. I thought, oh my gosh, it was such a family event. You mentioned the word family. Your concerts really are that way. I feel like I'm really part of the family, the musical family there. So I appreciate that so much. And you brought so much of that, Pasquale, to that performance. I felt like I knew you. I was dancing with you. It was wonderful. Just wonderful. So thank you for that. Please tell me about your part in all this.
Thank you. That's the main goal of being on stage, and being on stage with Carlo is just amazing. I think we share the same heritage. He has this beautiful Italian mama. Me too. My mother is a little less famous than his mother, but
yeah.
But sharing this wonderful heritage, I think, helps us to be very warm with our audience. And that's what you felt. You felt this is not the usual concert where you see that distance between the performers and the audience. No, we get together in celebrating something together. That night we were celebrating the birthday of a legendary person. But for Christmas, we're celebrating also the birth of another legendary person, that is Jesus. So it's so spectacular to be able to get together around this event. And in Italy, that's why in Italian Christmas, because we put Jesus and the fact that Jesus is born as a focus. So we're going to talk about my Christmas in Italy, his Christmas. So it's really sharing story about how beautiful this event is that puts the family together once a year, and you're gonna feel like part of our family. So that's the main intent of this show, is to go and feel Christmas before Christmas.
I love that you both have heritage from Naples. As you know, I do as well on both sides of my family. We're Napolitan. We come from just the outskirts, small little village in Naples. I think I told you before we started rolling, I've spoken to my relatives over there. They're trying to assemble an entire group to go to a concert that I know that you're going to also be doing in February. We'll talk about that a little later. There's something about that region, something about the people there. And you would know this, Carlo, as well, because your mom is from there. Does she talk about, and I'm sure she does, her early years growing up in Naples?
Well, as I say very frequently in interviews when I speak about my mother, she is a woman that comes from the people. You know, she
Yeah.
wasn't born in wealth. She wasn't born in privilege. She knew poverty, and during the war, they had very difficult times. They many times couldn't even eat. So she always kept that link, that relationship with the public, and that also transcended to her work. You know, she acquired fame in Loro di Napoli, which is a film in which she played, you know, a pizza vendor from the street. So
That's right.
that ethos of being part of the people, of being a woman of the people, of being in a sense a diva of the people has never left her, and has really described her artistic persona as well. So I think that the conviviality in Neapolitan culture is very is very high. It's very strong. And to live in Naples is really to be a part of the family. So to feel that your community is a family. You know, you speak with your neighbors. You're in the street, and you speak with the person in the apartment upstairs, and you see it from the street, and you gossip with everybody around. So there's really this conviviality that I think will transcend into the concert. I think that the concert goers will really feel as part
Yeah.
of one unit during that performance because of this cultural tendency in Naples.
Mm. Talk to me about how you two collaborate, and actually start with, how did you two meet? Because very unlikely, right? Even though I know that you are, of course, Pasquale from the Naples area, but how did you meet in the first place, and how did you instantly decide this
I,
is a
I
terrific collaboration? Go ahead.
I remember the first time I met Carlo. I was touring around with my first PBS special that was a tribute to Enrico Caruso. I was lucky enough to be born in the same neighborhood of Enrico Caruso, that is Piazza degli Ottogalli in downtown Naples. So I was inspired to do this PBS special, and I was touring around United States. We did almost every major town around, and I remember being in Los Angeles and at the Broad Stage, and I had the honor to know that Maestro Carlo Ponti was in the audience, and it was the day after that. I still have the picture. We met in an hotel while I was traveling. We're talking about probably 15, 20 years ago. Then I kept in
Oh,
touch with him because I got offered to do La Ciociara in San Francisco at with San Francisco Opera. That was an opera dedicated to a movie that his mother won the Oscar, and I was communicating still with him back and forth, and we were looking for the right time to collaborate, and the star aligns, and we start to talk more and more, and I admire his work. He is not a regular musician.
no.
Musicians are a musician. They try to put you in a box and say,
Mm.
okay, he needs to do like classical music, and he's there, and he doesn't move from there. What he has, the capability of us, is to mutate. You know, you will see him adjusting incredibly well to a repertoire of pop, Christmas music, American standard. And last week he was in Georgia doing an amazing classical piece. So that is a brain that should be cloned, because usually these conductors, they stay in a box, and they do that in a perfect way. He adjusts to the repertoire, he adjusts to the modernity of the repertoire, to the classical of the repertoire, but his intent is always to give justice to the music, to what the composition is about. And that's what I love about him. So it was always a dream to collaborate, and we found the right occasion, and we became very close friends outside of that.
You know, you mentioned the way Carlo works. It's about the passion of the work. The first time I met Carlo, I reached out to you, Carlo, and I said, I'd love to do an interview. I remember picking up the phone, and there you were. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's about the work. It's about the passion. And I think people can feel that it's really, that's where it comes from. It's deep inside. And that's what I love about attending your concerts, Carlo. Um, how do you go about, if I'm using the right word, composing for an evening like this? Because it's, there's different ways to approach it, but you leave the concert feeling sort of very spiritual in a way. It's almost like a spiritual um, evening or spiritual event. Talk to me
Well,
about that.
a lot of preparation goes into the performances. I believe that no matter what is being performed, either classical repertoire, crossover-ish repertoire, like will be in this
Yeah,
December performance, it doesn't matter. The same level of dedication and care goes into it,
there you go.
and so I think that's what the audience feels is
Yeah.
this tremendous amount of preparation beforehand that went into the concert, which I have the luck of actually being able to do. Uh, and I think that's I think that the audience feels the dedication
Yeah.
the that went to the concert before, uh,
Mm,
and the care as well. You have
yeah.
to care, and if you care, then the audience cares.
Yeah. And Pasquale also mentioned that you were in Georgia doing a concert. I'd like to congratulate you. I believe your wife is from Georgia. So congratulations are in order for you as well. I mean, you've had a lot going on this past year. I'll say that. All good things, Carlo. All good things. Talk to me, Pasquale, a little bit about you as a kid, because I know that you were a great fan of Caruso back then. I will tell you, so was my father. And may I say, as he was leaving this earth, that's what was playing for
Wow.
him as we were together holding his hand, was Caruso. He loved his music. He would sing it. I think he wanted to be an opera singer, but that didn't work out for him because, he just didn't have the opportunity. But he also, it was playing in my house as a kid. So when I read that about you, I was very excited to hear about that. So if you could just briefly walk us through your whole journey into who becoming who you are today.
Well, I was 7 years old when the funny story is that I broke a gramophone that my father,
Ha,
we used to listen classical music and Neapolitan music to this gramophone. I broke the gramophone and my father says, "See, since you broke the head of this gramophone, now you're gonna sing for us tonight."
that's right.
And that was my punishment at 7 years old. So he put me on a chair because I was not that tall, and I started to sing. And I was singing O Sole Mio, the famous Neapolitan song. And I saw in his face that I was doing something either right or very wrong. I think I was doing something right. He took me, it was Saturday night that night, and on the Sunday morning I found myself in my first little choir. We're talking, I was 7 years old. So since that morning, Sunday morning, I went to the mass, and after mass, I got my first vocal lesson with this priest. I never stopped to study, and I never stopped to commit to the voice instrument. Happened to be that in that church, in that little neighborhood church, was the church where Enrico Caruso started to sing.
Oh,
So there was a tradition there of choir and bel canto and stuff like that. So I grew up and I was in that church, in that choir for such a long time. So I hear about this Enrico Caruso all the time. Oh, we need to win this competition because we bring around this amazing name. And so the pressure was always there. I grew up with this pressure of perfection, of always compete for the best. And it was a great training that I got there. And I left Italy, I came into the United States, and I understand the really power of Enrico Caruso, an individual born from the street of Naples, able to become an international star, starting from zero, almost parallel to the story of Mrs. Lauren. People who have absolutely nothing, no training, but they have this amazing talent, and with that talent, they believing in themselves, they are able to do 21 consecutive seasons at the Metropolitan Opera. That's unheard. And I start to study him. I went back to Naples. I did an amazing research, and that was my first PBS special. Was seen by over 200 million people, and that was really opening the door for me to amazing collaboration, hundreds of shows, And I call always Enrico Caruso my mentor that I never met.
Mm.
I always felt that he was watching over me, this young boy from his neighborhood, and I start to sing all these amazing aria, Neapolitan song, and it's been an amazing journey. And again, my mentor that I never met.
Yeah. Carlo, I've asked you this in the past, but for some new audiences that are there, tell us what it was like growing up around such talent. What was it like when you were a kid? What inspired you? Did you always want to be a conductor, or was there something else that you thought about as a kid? And what inspired you the most, or who inspired you the most, other than, of course, your parents? I could only imagine.
Well, to actually digress from what Pasquale just said, my parents were the mentors that I always met
Wow.
in a way, because I've always said that the cinematic professions, acting, directing, and also producing, are very much parallel to what I as a conductor do. I mean, I act in a way on stage. I have to emote. I have to communicate what the music entails. Happiness or sadness. So there's a certain degree of emotional connection of acting going on. There's You have to have an interpretive vision. You have to work with the musicians in the orchestra, just like a director works on the set with his DP, with his audio, with his actors. So there's that human connection, because my instrument are people. It's not an instrument. It's not something that's it's something that's concrete. It's a person. Much like a director works with a person on the set to achieve his or her vision. And the production aspect with LA Virtuosi, I actually look for the funds for the performance.
Yeah.
So really, I really take part in many of the aspects of the filming profession in my work. And so that being said, my parents have always been very supportive of my musical work. And when I practice, there's many times that my mother makes comments of a certain movement that I do, of a certain interpretive. When I practice on my own for concerts at home, she's there many times, seeing me practice. I actually get up and conduct without an orchestra.
Oh.
She's and she's very she observes me, and the things that she says. Also, when my father was alive, their input pertaining to my work as I prepare has always been vitally important to me. So in that sense, they're really able to not only support me, but to also tailor to what I do in my preparatory work. So I've had the luck, similarly to Pasquale, but not similarly in a way, to have mentors that have always been there with me, because they have such a parallel profession as mine.
Yeah, I mean, your father, of course, the famed filmmaker Carlo Ponti, and your brother, your younger brother Eduardo,
Director
is
Eduardo.
is an accomplished filmmaker as well. I mean, my goodness, how beautiful! And your mother remains, as you say, very active in your life and in your professional life. And I just love how that continues full circle. The kind of family closeness that is there, that is absolutely beautiful. Pasquale, could you ever have imagined performing side by side with Carlo? I mean, let's face it, you were a kid. We all know who Sophia Loren is. And it's not that she is a famous person. It's not that. It's certainly not for me. It's the quality of the work. You feel the connection from her work or from your dad's work. That's what, to me, has always stayed with me with the work. It's the quality. Did you ever imagine, or was this something you envisioned in your head?
Well, being from Naples, I think it's even a more admiration for
Yeah.
such. When you're gonna, I hope you can attend the event on the 21st, and Carlo is coming there a little early, so I cannot wait to share with him the love that
Yeah.
Italy has for his mother, and Naples especially. Naples, the downtown of Naples, there is no place that you go and where you don't see the picture of his mother, almost like a religious person picture. And let me tell you why. This is something to really, I work a lot to understand how a person can become a mythology. A person becomes admired by other when there is that quality that comes from zero. If you start from zero and you become who become, just because your amazing ability, you become a diva, you become a star. I always talk with my young student, with my nonprofit. We mentor both young student, and I always tell them to believe in themselves. And those people who we are talking about, center you apart. Mrs. Lauren, Enrico Caruso, people born in the street with nothing in their pocket, be able to win an Oscar, be able to become the first record artist in the history of music. Those are people who makes the difference. What's special about these people? It's not luck. It's the capability to believe in themselves and apply methodically as a religion, understand that art is a mission, and finding that form of art. When I listen and read about Mrs. Lauren before I collaborate with Carlo to write that show, I read hundreds of books. She didn't go to a very special coach that made her the actress that she is. No, she was cultivating that seeds that nature gave to her. And I believe that in many students, in many young people, there is that seeds, and that seed need to be cultivated. And it's not with the artificial intelligence that we're going to do that.
Oh,
It's with commitment and sacrifice.
would you like to add to that, Carlo? That was so beautifully said. I can't. That's incredible.
Well, I think that, as per what I've touched on before, I think that any legendary figure in any art form or even beyond art, I think that what creates a legendary person, meaning a person that is remembered by others, that is revered by others, is the care.
Yeah.
If they care about the work, then it shows, and then people are actually transported by it. If you don't care, so it's the amount of care. If
I
you really
agree.
care about something, there is no stopping you.
Yeah.
In
I
anything, even beyond art, in the family, if you care, those four little words are so important for human relations, actually, for human
right.
interactions. You have to care. If you really care, in a sense, there is no stop. That's the first. That's the first point. Is the first requirement, so to speak, for greatness, to achieving something really meaningful.
Hmm. You
And
know, please.
I'm learning from this conversation that you say care, I say commitment, but commitment and care have such a bridge between. You commit to someone.
It's
if
the same
you
word.
care.
You actually
Yeah.
commit because you care,
Yes, it's all. That's
and you
beautiful.
care because you commit. So it's
Yeah.
they're reflexive.
And let's remember, it doesn't come easy. You may care, you may be born with incredible talent, but then comes the work. And the work is and the practice, as we all know, it doesn't. That's the stuff that nobody really sees, right? The hard work behind the film, the hard work behind the music, the hard
Behind the
work.
scene.
And say it again.
Behind the scene. That
Behind
is.
the scene, it
Yeah.
all kind of works together. I love that you spoke about that, and you also brought up AI. I hardly even want to bring it up because my stomach turns a little bit. There's no doubt that's where so much of the world may be going. I say may, um, but it could never ever replicate what the human soul can produce, right? It just can't.
I believe it cannot, but it can help to inspire. I'm
Okay.
not absolutely cold towards it. I look at it with an eye open, understanding that that's the direction we're going in any sector in life. It can be for my wife that is a lawyer, for a conductor, for an arranger, a producer like me. But many time I think we can get inspired to facilitate the initial job, but then we need the human being. I think it's a good starting point, can be a good starting point that we cut a lot of time, but I believe then you need a human being. When I heard, makes me sick like you, when I heard, okay, now we're taking the position of that person. No, that cannot happen. The human being brain can never be substitute, if I can say.
Do you see it, Carlo, coming into your world in music? And if so, how?
I think that AI, it's a tool to, as a friend of mine very astutely put it a short while ago, that I heard this comment, which I thought was very to the point and very good. I think that AI is good to rearrange what is already there,
Mm.
to take from existing factors, from existing elements, and to create, let's say an essay, if you want to write an essay, because it takes from things, elements that already exist on the internet and rearranges it. But to actually create something from scratch, AI cannot do that, and the human mind can do that. Humans can do that, and the degree the issue with AI is that the product is too perfect. It doesn't have imperfections. It doesn't have any soul, and I think that imperfection is the key to beauty, to creative beauty. Because it makes us fallible, and that fallibility, I think, is the key to really appreciating something, because it's not perfect, because perfection is dead. Perfection has no character, has no personality. It doesn't transport you. If something is imperfect, it's perfectly imperfect in a way. So imperfection
Yeah.
perfection go hand in hand, are necessary to actually really appreciate something. And
Well,
going back to the December concert, I think that this love and this humanity and this care will be really transportive to the audience in December concert, because we will celebrate Christmas, the holiday season, not only Italian but also American holiday traditions. So I think that the love, the care, and the preparation and the subject matter will be wonderful for the audience, and they really will feel in concert, because the word concert comes from the Italian concertare, to be together. So they
yeah.
will be really more than ever feel in concert, and feel a sense of togetherness at that performance on December 10th on the Broad Stage.
Talk to me a little bit about Christmas. How do you celebrate Christmas, each of you? And, is it a special time for the whole family? The answer obviously is yes. But is there any special tradition that you could share with us that you will each do?
Well, let me first start about that. It's a good point. Pasquale here is so vehement about decorations, and if there's a definition for the Christmas spirit, Pasquale has it. He's the person with the most Christmas. Every year he has in storage thousands of Christmas decorations, which he unleashes in the house every year, and it's fantastic. It's just really a sight to actually see. So I'm standing next to the person which probably has the most Christmas spirit of all in the world.
Okay, let's hear about it.
No, it's true. I believe a lot in Christmas, and has been a joy to share Christmas since my last PBS special was 2020, when we present In the Spirit of Christmas. I really get involved in this composition. Now, you should know that when I moved here into the United States, I was doing the most crazy job to support myself. And one of the job was being at the Macy's Stanford Shopping Center when I was studying at Fulton College. And I remember it was at the end of October that you start to hear these Christmas carols. And believe me, when you hear these Christmas carols for 8 hours shift, I hate it. Really, I couldn't stand it. Then
I
I
love
found
it.
myself, I always say that, be careful to what you hate, because then you're gonna love it. And then I found myself doing a PBS special where I'm studying this amazing composer of the past century about these American holiday books of music that is unbelievable. And so it's a joy. Carlo, feel Christmas. I grew up with this amazing tradition. I'm going to be in tour for touching all California city. I'm going to be in Sonoma. I'm going to be in San Jose, of course. We're going to be in Carmel by the Bay, Los Angeles, and a few other cities around California, where I just released another Christmas album. That is this one. It is called My Christmas by the Bay, because I spend Christmas always in the Bay, and that is the Bay of Naples or the Bay of San Francisco. So in this Christmas show that you will see the mix of these two amazing cultures, the Bay of Naples and the Bay of San Francisco. I'm leaving after this tour on the 23rd, believe or not, to be in Italy with the family on the 24th. And has been a tradition to go back home with my kids and visit my father, who's still alive, the same age of Mrs. Lauren. He is 91 now. And with my 4 sisters, and we celebrated Christmas all together like we used to be when we grew up.
Absolutely beautiful. I have just a couple of questions before I let you go. I want to talk about your nonprofit work. Please, Carlo, let's start with you with Los Angeles Virtuosi Orchestra. Would you tell our audience about that?
It's the only orchestra that I know of in the world which supports music education, which was founded to actually do that. And we support music education in 2 ways. We allocate the net profits of our concerts towards the music education programs to develop and grow the music education programs of selected schools that we partner with, selected public schools that we partner with. And we also, the second way in which we support the study of music is that we integrate within the activities of the orchestra. We feature young soloists and young instrumental groups that play with our professional players to give them exposure and to really push their performance level at the maximum by playing with a professional musical ensemble. So that's the 2 ways in which we support music education. And we're in our 10th season. With our activities, we've supported countless young emerging artists and emerging music groups, and we've been able to grow many of our partner musical programs to really great effect in our performance. So I'm very proud of that.
It's absolutely exceptional. Some of the young musicians are sort of take your breath away. It's absolutely spectacular, and so many public schools don't have any. Say it again.
Need that kind of help because they're very underfunded when it comes to the arts and to music. So we fill in that gap.
Yeah, and some of them don't even have a music program any longer, which to me is, I mean, music just helps us grow and learn in other subjects. It's very critical. So thank you for doing this for the young people. And Pasquale, please talk about your nonprofit that you have, which is also quite interesting, please.
Yeah, Notable Music and Art Organization was born about 12 years ago. It's a nonprofit organization that is based on really inspire young generation, inspire the world, because it is through that non-profit organization that we were able to do 4 educational program on PBS with PBS special. But through Notable Music and Art, I put myself in the front line like Carlo. I teach 2 days a week full time to privileged children. You will see an example, and I invite you to enjoy what we're gonna do. Both LAV and NMO are going to support a young student from Notable Music and Art Organization. She's going to come down in Los Angeles to do performance with me on December 10. Her name is Victoria Thuy V. She's Vietnamese. She came to my studio when she was 11 years old, and now she is 22 years old. She's a singer that she's blooming. She's still taking lessons from me. And she's going to be part of our show. So it's an example for LAV and NMO how to give a young blooming student an opportunity to perform with a great orchestra, a great conductor. So the educational,
great singer.
The educational program goes on. You know, it's our mission. You know, to give and to give the opportunity to do that. So
absolutely,
it's a joy to give an example to the audience.
Look, already you're getting calls for the performance. People are wanting to know where can they get their tickets. They're so excited. They're calling you right now live on our show. So that's terrific.
They can go, of course, on my website. That is pasqualeesposito.com, but same thing, lav.com. The link is available out there. We still have ticket available. This is the last, what we call the last push, but we know that the house is going to be incredibly full.
It will. Are there going to be any sing-alongs? I love sing-alongs. I don't know. You guys make it so fun. You know,
Silver bells, it's Christmas Day.
Again, it's getting phone calls.
I'm telling you, this is what happens. We go on live. You asked me before we went, what if something happens? Now you're getting phone calls about this. So we'll sell it out before the show is over. Can you give us a little preview, and then we'll let you go? Please. You were kind enough to start singing. Let's do that. Let's hear a little more.
I was just thinking about some sing-alongs. I'm still writing the show. I was just telling Carlo, but tonight and tomorrow I'm going to give you the order, because there is going to be an involvement of the audience for certain songs and this excited moment. But there is going to be different language we're going to perform. We're going to sing Holy Night in the original language, that is French, so it's Menuit Chrétien. Then we're going to sing, of course, Spanish, like Feliz Navidad, Italian, because we are from there. From this CD, we're going to sing an amazing composition that, believe it or not, I really love it, and Carlo just was telling me that studying it, he loves it. It's Dolce Sentire. It was a song written by St. Francis in 2222. St. Francis' story is very interesting. He was a gentleman that created the first nativity set.
Oh.
And in this wonderful song, you hear the beauty of the universe. It's called Dolce Sentire, sweet to feel, and it talks about how beautiful is the universe. It's a song that I cannot wait to perform with LAV, and I know it's going to sound spectacular.
It's going to be great. I think what we'll add to the performance is the fact that we'll have an orchestra on stage, a live orchestra. So all these arrangements have been rearranged for band, Pasquale's band, and coupled with the orchestra. So I think that will add another dimension to the performance. It will really expand its bandwidth, and so we really can't wait to perform it for you. So tickets at pasqualeesposito.com or at lavirtuosi.org. Maybe you can put them on the screen.
Happy to. And we'll put it in the notes underneath as well, so people know where to go. I appreciate that you reached out and said that so much. So Pasquale Esposito. Thank you. See, and Carlo Ponti. Exactly, Carlo Ponti. Thank you so much for joining us. If there's anything you want to add, let me know. Otherwise, I think that we really covered it. You really gave people a taste of who you are, the history, and everything else. I appreciate it. Please, December 10th. I look forward to seeing you all there. It's really a fun time.
I want to add something, and I want to congratulate you on. I have the joy of watching this amazing show that you do, and
thank you.
The art of interviewing. You let people talk, you know how to prepare, and I want to say that it's very difficult to find a good interviewer, and you are amazing.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I love you both. You really just, no, I mean that. You touched my heart, because I do this for the passion of it. I never ever got into this field for any other reason. I wanted to tell other people's stories. So thank you for recognizing that really means a lot, from two of the greatest that I know. And so I love you both.
If you come to Naples for February the 21st, you're going to try the most beautiful pizza. We're going to bring you there.
I appreciate that. I'm trying to make it happen, and I think I will. I go back often enough to see family, and I told them about this, and they said, you've got to come. So I'm working on it, but I think it'll work out. I don't really seem to have many conflicts. That will be exciting. Wow. So thank you both so much. I can't tell you how I appreciate it. And people, please, you can go to our page as well, because we're going to, put a note down on how you can purchase tickets. It's also just a fun evening. It's a great venue. I love the Broad. Parking's easy. Just the whole situation is an easy place to go. Great acoustically. And you're going to see two of the very best. It's really wonderful. And a great community, too, for the holidays. So thank you both from the bottom of my heart for joining us. And you'll find our interview, Deborah Kobylt, live. We're going to be pushing this out. And on our Little Italy podcast. It's on both. So I appreciate it. I also want to mention one more thing. I'm up for 2 National Press Awards this weekend, this Sunday. So fingers crossed.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really honored about that. Pardon?
Happy Christmas. Buon Natale.
Thank you. Thank you. Buon Natale. And we'll see you all next time. And hopefully see you at the Broad on December 10th. Ciao, ciao.
December 10th, 8 p.m. at the Broad stage.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.